Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. We record these interviews so potential buyers have more information about the seller and the business to help them make a buying decision. Before we dive in, let's go over a brief summary of this business. So it is a display advertising affiliate digital product and Amazon Associates business created in March 2020 in the design and home niches. The average monthly revenue for the business is $5,484 and makes an average of $5,197 per month in net profit. The assets included in the sale are domain with all site content and files, digital products, there are 313 products, social media pages and accounts, which are Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram, and an email list of a little over 2,600 subscribers. So for everyone listening, you can visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing 56661 to learn more about the business, or you can unlock this listing to start your due diligence if you're interested in purchasing this asset. So that's a brief overview of the business for sale. Let's hear from the seller with me today. So welcome to the show, Megan. How are you doing today?
I'm good, Nick. How are you?
I'm doing great, and I'm very much looking forward to learning more about you and your business. So to get us started, can you tell us a little bit about your background in building and running online businesses?
Yeah, so I don't really have much of a background in running or building online businesses. This was my first time around. I actually got the idea. I was a part of this occasion many a time, and I always had a passion for writing, and I kind of just put two and two together, and I started this site, and here we are 3.5 years later.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I'm sure it's kind of gone by quickly, and it's also been maybe a long time as well, 3.5 years. So now after 3.5 years, why are you deciding to sell the business?
For me, I've really just gotten it to a point where I don't think that I can get it to that next level that I know maybe the right buyer can. Again, like I said, I'm a creative. I really put my heart into the writing of it and speaking to my readers, but I don't have any background in the world of SEO or just even scaling businesses in general. And I just feel that I've taken it to a point that I want to take it. And I really just want to pass that torch on to the right person who I feel like can get it to that next level.
Yeah, some business owners, it's very common. They like being the creator. And they'll come into this or get the business to a point where they realize that it's no longer just about the creating or the thing that brought them there, but it's now about the scaling of the business. So,
yeah, that's exactly that point that I'm at right now. I mean, I could hold on to it and I could maintain it and I could do a lot of things, but I really do believe it can be bigger than what it is. And I'm big enough to admit that I'm not the person to get it there.
For sure. So after 3.5 years, I'm sure you have acquired a lot of knowledge, whether or not you wanted to, about building a business. So what is something you learned from building this that just worked?
I think number one, the biggest thing that I learned, and this is not even technically, about like online businesses, but just in general, the patience that it takes to start something from nothing and get it to a point where whether it's earning you $1 or 10 times that, whatever it be, just the patience to get it to that point. That was a really big learning curve for me. There was definitely times where I was super frustrated and why isn't this growing faster? Or why isn't this here or there? And setting these, sometimes unrealistic goals. So I definitely, in general, learned a lot about patience throughout this entire experience. But then on the specific, again, this is my first time around. So everything it takes to, build out a content site and not just build it out, but get it in front of people who are going to read it. I mean, it's all good and great. You could write out the words and you can build this beautiful site, but it's not anything until people get in front of it. So just, the basics of SEO and just like getting traffic to the site, just all these things that I didn't even know existed before, I started this.
Yeah. Well, I know before this interview, you mentioned something about there being a large component of luck involved in this, but I can tell now from your answer that you definitely had a lot of perseverance behind this. So, which I think I didn't hear before, but I'm understanding now how you got it to this point.
Definitely the luck is what started the whole thing. Again, this is something that I've experienced personally many times in my life. And when I was going through these, experiences and I was looking for the information and resources to maybe kind of help me along the way, I felt that they weren't there. So that's kind of when the light bulb went off, and the luck of, going through an experience, but then also realizing it's, an underserved niche, and we put together. So luck is what got it going, and the perseverance is what got me here.
Yeah, got you to this point. Very nice. And it sounds like you've tried out a lot of different things, just given the number of different revenue streams associated with this and different products even. So has there been anything you tried with this business that didn't work?
There's nothing specific because, again, everything was just learning. When I started it, all my content was just based around what I felt like from someone who was going through this, what they would need to know. So I didn't start off the way maybe some others with the keyword research and all that stuff. I dove in with what did I think people needed to hear. So I can't say anything specifically didn't work because I just did what I felt was necessary. And again, with no experience, I haven't tried a ton of things. I'm not super experienced in SEO. I feel like I've done, the basics that I can do, but I haven't really tried anything that has been an epic fail. Let's just put it that way. I mean, all I can say is, the one thing I learned a lot was when I was decided to, design and sell digital products. That was a little bit of a learning curve, kind of not knowing on the creative side exactly, what I wanted to do with my designs. And then on the business side, how do you price them? How do you market them? How do you, any of those things. So I would say that was probably where maybe I wasted a little bit of the time in the beginning was with the digital products and just not knowing which ones were right and not right for, my buyers.
Yeah. Well, I can say that a lot of the businesses that I see, they only have one monetization or one revenue stream even. And even with that alone, that's a lot. It can be a lot of work. So congratulations, I guess is what I'm saying, that there were no epic fails.
And I'm sure there were along the way, but I just like to believe that I did okay.
They just erased from your memory at this point.
Something like that.
Nice. So can you describe to me the amount and the type of work you do on this business now that you've brought it to this point?
Yeah, I mean, as far as, maintaining it, again, I do write all of my own content. So that's really the majority of the time that is spent just, doing the outlines, then writing it, editing it, getting it, on to be published. So that's the majority of the work that I do, on a weekly basis. But I get a lot of my traffic from Pinterest, which takes some time. And again, I design and create all my own pin covers. So that's, a couple hours a week too.
Got it. So I'm hearing a few different things, content and design. What would you say are the skills that a new owner would need to be in order to be successful with this business? I guess even if they were maintaining it, just continuing operations, not necessarily growing the business.
Yeah, I mean, content's content. That's obviously, I think I have a leg up because, it was a personal experience for me. So I feel like as far as on the research end goes, I can pull from my own experience. So, if someone does buy it and they don't have that same experience, maybe just a little bit of research into the content. As far as, maintaining the Pinterest and things go, I use Canva to create, my pin covers, and it's such a super easy platform. And I actually grew to love like the graphic design side has actually become something I'm super interested in. So just, a basic knowledge if you wanted to maintain the Pinterest account, just a basic knowledge of Canva or any other, graphic design site where you could create your pin covers.
Nice. So I've heard SEO, I've heard design. If you were to keep the business, what are some ways that you would try to grow it?
Yeah, it's definitely a ton for me because I kind of wanted to go a certain path and I was committed to that path. But within this niche, there is many shoulder niches. I mean, without going, in too much detail, we are talking about an occasion and I specifically a certain part of that occasion. So if anyone were to buy the site, they could absolutely branch out into some shoulder niches that are related to this and really open up their content calendars. I mean, there will never be a lack of content in this niche. Let's just put it that way. It's very evergreen. If anything, growing bigger and bigger year after year. So that would be number one, just opening up what they wanted to write about, what the content that they wanted to put on the site. I would definitely say, again, self-admittedly, not super skilled at SEO. I've done my best and my organic is growing in the last couple months, but I absolutely am not an expert. So anyone with better SEO skills than me can absolutely go in there and optimize the content that I've already created And lastly, I would just say my email list. Again, I do have a decent amount of subscribers and I do put them through an automation, but it's not super, sales heavy or anything like that. So if anyone was maybe looking to increase some affiliate revenue, they could definitely probably utilize that email list a little bit better than I do.
Yep, it did seem like an active email list as well. So very cool. It sounds like there are, and just knowing what the niche is, it seems like there are a lot of avenues for growth here. And with opportunity, of course, comes risk on the other side of the coin. So what do you think are the biggest risks with this business that a buyer should be aware of?
For me, and through everything I've learned, it's just kind of Google can be your best friend or your worst enemy. That's a hard lesson that I had to learn along the way as far as, trying to rank. Sometimes I question, from one day to the other. So I think with anyone with a content site, Google, just with the updates and stuff, I've never truly had I've heard the horror stories and that's, never happened with me, but I do know anything's possible with that. And then on the flip side, it's kind of similar. Pinterest is a search engine as well. It's, a lot of people think it's social media, but it really is a search engine. They sometimes have algorithm updates and they have shakeups and stuff. So that's always a risk, is that something could, go wrong with Pinterest. But again, not something that I've faced in the 3.5 years that, I've been working on it.
Yeah, and that's actually a really good sign when there have been quite a few algorithm updates and a site continues to be resilient and stable. So that's good to hear.
Yeah, I've definitely had my most organic growth in the last few months, even with, throughout some updates. So I'm pretty proud of that, seeing as I'm no SEO expert over here. So my writing must be halfway decent.
Very nice. All right. Well, I just have some last few questions, just some housekeeping questions here. So how much support are you willing to offer buyers?
I'm definitely open to anything. Like this site really is, just because I'm ready to move on to the next thing for me personally. This site will always be, I call it my little baby, and I want to see it do well because I truly believe in the right hands that it can. So I'm super open. I mean, I know the standard is 30 days to the phone call and Skype. I'm open to that. But again, I'm open to whatever the buyer thinks they may or may not need to really get it to that level that I think that it can go to. And again, I just want to put out there, I really do enjoy the graphic design side of this entire thing.
All right.
So if anyone was looking for, I could help with the pin covers moving forward and maybe an interim period, or if they were looking for maybe some more digital product designs, I would be open to that as well.
Nice. All right. And would you be willing to commit to a non-compete?
Absolutely. I have no plans to go down this path again. So yes, absolutely.
All right. Sounds good. And are you open to something like an earnout?
I am open to, anything. As long as it's the right buyer, I'm definitely open to all options.
Yep. And I know we kind of talked about this throughout some of these other questions, but putting yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why do you think this is a business worth buying?
I think it's a business worth buying because I was able to get it to this point, again, with little to no knowledge of what it would take. Again, I'm a creative. I just wanted to put my words out there and I wanted to help people. And I am my readers. I am what I've gone through and what, my niche is. I am that person. So you're getting a site with content. I mean, you're not going to get that anywhere else. Someone who is speaking one-on-one to their readers. And I've just put a lot of heart and soul into it. And I've taken it to where I can take it. And I absolutely know that it can get much further in the right hands. So I just don't think you're going to get it's just a sweet spot right now for the right buyer. So I think that it's a win-win all around, win for me and win for them.
Yes. Awesome. That was a great answer. Is there anything you'd like to add that you think I might have missed during the interview?
I think we're good. I think I've, put it all out there.
Yeah, I think so too. All right. Well, I'll wrap this up here. So Megan, thank you so much for sharing your story and joining us on today's episode. And I do hope your business is purchased in the near future by the right buyer.
Thank you so much, Nick. It was a great time.
Thank you. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this listing has already been sold, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing number 56661. And if you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. And once you've unlocked this listing, you'll be given everything you need to know about this business. So until next time, enjoy your digital journey.